Today we're checking out another used car, and on today's episode of a car we can afford but probably shouldn't buy, we're checking out a Polo 6C GTI. If you know what you're doing, you can go ahead and buy it, and I believe you will have a great experience. But if you're a chancer like me, just look for something else, my man. The stress is not worth it. In this video we'll cover the key features, common issues, pricing and cost of ownership. This is the best Polo GTI according to most GTI fans, and I don't disagree. But with my own money, if I were to buy a Polo GTI, I'd go for the AW. And like I have unfinished business with the facelift Polo GTI, it deserves another chance, but not now. Welcome to another video. Today we'll just jump straight to pricing. The car we are looking at right now is a 2015 model with just over 126,000 kilometers on the clock, and it's going for 259,900. Let's just say 260,000 rands. And I think it's kind of overpriced. Cause not long ago when we were hunting for a car for Mamaga Snow, we came across a fresh 2016 model with a similar mileage going for only 250,000 rands. But then again, 6C GTIs are generally overpriced. A decent low mileage one costs over 300,000 rands, especially the 2017 models. I even checked at We Buy Cars, and the cheapest 6C GTI I found was going for just over 250,000 rands, and it was heavily modified. That's a red flag. Back in 2015, the launch price for this car was roughly 326,000 rands. So 8 years later, it shouldn't be anywhere near 300k. But every scam has its victims. So some people won't see anything wrong with spending 300,000 rands on an 8-year-old pre-abused Polo GTI with no warranty or service plan. A brand new Polo Vivo trendline now starts from plus minus 250,000 rands. So with your imaginary 250,000 rands, are you buying a high mileage Polo GTI or a new Polo Vivo? Let me know in the comments. And by the way, my first car was a second-hand 2018 Polo Vivo, for those who don't know. I bought it for roughly 169,000 rands with a mileage of 26,000 kilometers on the clock. On the side we have two-tone 17-inch alloys wrapped with some 2154-017 rubber. And if you don't know, a 2154-017 tire costs around 2,000 rands or more. So if you damage a tire, that's the amount you pay for a new one unless you have tire and rim insurance. Obviously the sunroof is an optional feature, and it was coming in at around 9,000 rands. At the back we have twin tailpipes, and here's how they sound. I don't know what you think, but for me they are just too soft. The boot space is 280 liters, and for some that's too small, but we don't care. We is me and other GTI enthusiasts. This is a baby Golf, so inside it somewhat looks like a Golf 7. Back in 2015, this infotainment screen seemed fancy and all, but now it feels dated and a bit leggy. And that's one of the reasons why I chose the AW over the 6C. The seats are partial leather, partial Alcantara, and are quite comfortable. This car is so clean, man. Shout out to the previous owner for taking good care of it. I checked the service book and it has a full service history. All the services were done at VW workshops except the last one. This dealer took the car for service before putting it on their showroom floor, and that's the service that wasn't done by VW. Yes, the previous owner was taking good care of the car, but the paint looks suspiciously clean. Maybe I'm imagining things, but I know an 8-year-old car when I see one. So I hope this one was not resprayed. If you come across an old high mileage car that looks too fresh, you should do a bit of probing. And I'm not saying that every old car is supposed to look horrible, by the way. There should at least be signs of wear and tear here and there. It's almost like when you come across a 12-year-old car with only 10,000 kilometers on the clock. You shouldn't just say "Ye kilo mileage Morena" and take it. Do a bit of probing to ensure there's no manga business. That's your leg room, and here are your back seats. Done. Now let's talk about the common issues of failures, and we'll start by focusing on the minor issues, then move on to the serious ones. The first issue is a leaking sunroof. As the car ages, the sunroof tends to leak. In some cars it only makes an annoying rattling sound but doesn't leak. And honestly speaking, I don't think that's a VW problem. It's a sunroof problem. Cause other car brands also suffer from sunroof related issues. And I guess that's why Toyota SA is always staying away from sunroofs, cause they don't want to deal with sunroof related headaches. The second minor issue is the center armrest. It just breaks. Ask anyone who owns a 6C, they will tell you. The next common issue is excessive oil consumption. Both the 1.4 and 1.8 Polo GTIs are notorious for burning oil. But if you are lucky, you won't experience any of these issues. You can't talk about VW problems and not mention water pump issues. This is a very famous failure which also affects Audi cars. In 2019, I used to share a house with this other Morena who was driving an Audi A3, and water pump issues used to show him flames. So if you are driving a Polo, you are bound to experience a water pump failure at some point. Then there's Mechatronic issues. And guess how much you pay for repairs if you are paying out of your pocket? More than 30,000 rands. But the amount differs based on where you did the repairs. If you've experienced Mechatronic issues before, please let us know how much you paid for the repairs. Look, I owned a Polo GTI myself for about 4 months, and the DSG gearbox was very nice. You find yourself doing endless change downs for no reason. And my man, if that thing breaks, you are going to pay plus minus 100,000 for a new gearbox. So if you own a GTI, you must make sure you are adequately covered for any potential mechanical breakdown. Otherwise, you'll cry tears. In some cases, you may get various warning lights on the instrument cluster, aka Christmas tree, due to faulty sensors such as O2 sensor, brake fluid level sensor, and more. Then there's the issue of overheating, which may be attributed to coolant leak. If there's any issue I did not mention, feel free to add it in the comment section. This Polo GTI is powered by a 1.8 litre 4-cylinder engine, producing 141 kilowatts and 250 Newton meters of torque. It moves from 0 to 100 in just 6.7 seconds, and the top speed is 236 kilometers per hour. Claimed average fuel consumption is 5.6 liters per 100 kilometers. Here we won't talk about warranty because the warranty of VW cars expires in just 3 years. So this car is out of warranty and out of service plan. You already know what that means. If you don't know, your neighbor will tell you. The issue of car finance when it comes to old high mileage cars is a bit tricky because some banks don't finance cars that are not under warranty. But for the purpose of this video, let's just assume you'll finance this 260,000 rands Polo GTI for 5 years with no deposit and no balloon payment at an interest rate of, let's say, maybe 12%, and your monthly installment will be roughly 5,800. Add maybe 1,500 for insurance, and your monthly cost will jump to 7,300. For an 8-year-old Polo, that might be a money pit. If you have a good insurance profile, you may only spend 1,000 rands or less on insurance. I don't know how much you'll spend on fuel, but this is a mini Frupa, so you'll definitely pour a couple of tanks per month. This Polo GTI is a great car and you can find decent ones out there. However, it's gonna be a bit tricky to find one at a reasonable price. Spending 350,000 rands on a Polo with no warranty, that's more than 7 years old, is just a waste of money if you ask me. With that amount, I'd rather look for a decent 8W Polo GTI. If you are a new driver and you know nothing about cars, don't even breathe towards the direction of this car, especially if it's gonna be your only car. But if you are a daredevil like me, go ahead and spend your 260,000 rands on a high mileage pre-abused Polo and see what's the worst that could happen. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel for more car content in a Mzansi context.